Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, August 8th, 2025. Welcome to another eBay video. In tonight's video, I'm going to be discussing more about two different experiences I had buying items on eBay that didn't work out exactly the way they were supposed to. I talked about one of them last week. Well, I got another one for you this week, which I think you'll enjoy. I also want to talk about insulting lowball offers, and I'll clarify that later on as we go along. I want to talk about continuing bad addresses on eBay. This seems to be a growing problem. And nasty messages from people who haven't even bought anything from you. All right, I want to try and cover all those topics in half an hour. Before I get started, I want to address something many of the more observant people mentioned in last week's video. The more observant people were very, very happy with the new lighting. Well, guys, I purposely didn't address that last week. I wanted to see how many of you guys were going to notice it and comment on it. It's not the lighting per se. As of last week, I am using a brand new iMac. I finally broke down and made the purchase. For the last 10 years, I've been using this 10-year-old Mac for my videos and everything else, and it was on its last legs. So I figured I'd finally make the plunge and buy an iMac. So guys, you don't have to worry about bad lighting anymore. All right? Okay, let's get into the eBay topics now. And I'm going to start off with two purchases I made on eBay over the last few weeks that didn't go correctly. Now, the first purchase we talked about last week. I bought a lot of about 20 items. Half of them were junk. I mean, I'm not saying they broke on the way. I'm saying they were packed junk. Things that should have been in the garbage. You know, in retrospect, what a lot of you guys said was entirely true. And that is that I should have just packed them back up and sent them back, item not as described. But I was just, you know how me and my Italian temper roll? Well, I was just so pissed off that it was garbage day. I threw half of them out right in the trash just to get them out of my sight. So, all right, that's on me. But still in all, I tried to give the seller every benefit of the doubt. I contacted him. He basically told me to go pound salt. He told me that he didn't think I was going to actually try and put them on a car. He thought I was going to use them as wall decorations. But nowhere in the listing does it say anything is damaged or not usable. He further went on to say he wouldn't give me any money back because he lost money on the shipping. I checked his feedback, which wasn't great. When I checked his feedback, he had approximately 18 negatives in 1 year. Now he's got one more. His feedback now is 97.2%. Not very good at all on eBay. If you see anybody less than 99 on eBay, you better check before buying. My second experience on eBay wasn't as bad, but it really bummed me out. A guy was selling a lot of 3 Toyota hubs. Starting bid $20 plus shipping. Okay? Now, I wanted them because I can sell them here locally and make money. That's what I do. Now, unfortunately, I can't put them in my watch list because eBay is worse than an ex-wife. They will nag you. Okay? So what I do is I go back like it's 1995 again. I write down on a piece of paper what the item is and the date it's going to end. And if I remember, I'll snipe it, and that's what I did. I won the listing at the starting price. Okay? The buyer, the seller waited about 2 days. All right, finally ships them out to me. Uploads tracking. Okay. I get the items. Now, to save time, I'm not doing any cutaways, okay? I'm going to be working off my phone. But I want to show you a picture because I took this picture and I said, this is wild, man. Remember, we're talking 3 hubcaps. 1, 2, 3. How big could it be, right? Take a look. Look. Cripes. Take a look at the huge box. But I'm not complaining about the size of the box. Look how they were thrown in haphazardly with no packing, banging around in that huge box. All 3 arrived scratched up, blemished. One even had a clip broken off it, okay? And this person is not a newbie. This person, get this, has over, I think, if I remember correctly, 30,000 feedbacks. How can an experienced person like that ship me items in a huge box banging around? And they arrive damaged. Now, in this case, there's no way I'm going to file item not as described case or anything like that because I'm lucky enough that I can fix these things. I already have, all right? What I did was, one of them, I repaired the clip-on. The others, I actually had to spray paint and redo, and I just happen to have one here, if you want to see it. Because I have a local customer that wants this. I mean, they came out pretty good, all right? I'm still satisfied with my purchase as far as the money is concerned. I am not satisfied with the way he packed the items. A child could do better. I have not contacted him. But I looked at his feedback and I saw something that made me shake my head in disbelief. I keep coming across these things that I've never come across before in my 25 years. In the last year, over 600 people left this person positive feedback. I think that's pretty good. How many positive feedbacks do you think he left for his buyers? 0. Not a single buyer ever received a positive feedback from this guy. So what that tells me is, if I leave him positive, I'm not getting anything back. Okay? I thought about writing to him and telling him what a lousy packing job he did, but I really don't think he would reply. My question to you, what would you guys do if you were me? Would you write to him and tell him he did a lousy packing job? Or would you leave him any feedback at all? Do not say send the items back. That ain't happening. All right? I'm going to make money on this deal. Okay? I put a lot of work into it, work that I shouldn't have had to do, but all right, it's still a win for me. I'm going to make money. All right? So yeah, that is my second eBay purchase story of the week. Now let's talk about insulting lowball offers. Now, I'm not referring to people who will send you an offer of, let's say, 25% of the asking price. That's aggravating, okay? So for the argument's sake, let's say you have an item that's $100. Anytime somebody sends $50 or less, you know, that's insulting to me, okay? I would never do that to another eBayer. I'd feel guilty about doing it, all right? I really would. I would feel guilty about doing it. Now, here's my story from the week. I had an item listed for $50, but it was currently on sale 10% off in my store for $45. A buyer sends me a best offer of $25. $25 on a $45 item. I declined it. Two reasons. One, it's not enough. Two, it's a troublesome item that tends to be returned a lot. And if I'm going to go to the trouble of dealing with a return, it's going to be for the right money. So I declined. Remember, I declined $25. Within 1 minute, he sends me back another offer. $19. He went from 25 down to 19 just to break balls. That's okay. I can break them too. So I declined that offer, and in the comments section I wrote, I am blocking you and you can't do a thing about it. And don't think you're going to buy this item using a fake throwaway account, because I'm ending the listing just so you don't get it. And that's exactly what I did, okay? It's the only avenue of recourse in situations like this. At some point, I will relist it, okay? But not right away. He is not getting it. The cheapskate is blocked. So I told this story to a friend of mine yesterday who also sells in motors. Do you know, today, he contacted me and said, Joe, I just had a similar incident, but on a different item. He had it listed for $40 plus shipping. Somebody sent him an offer of $20. He declined it. A couple of minutes later, they sent him another offer for $20 again. I think that eBay should put checks and balances in place. Whereas if a person sends an offer, let's say for $20 on a $40 item, and it's declined, they cannot send a second offer for the same or lesser amount, okay? Which means they wouldn't be able to send another $20 or less offer. When I went to the eBay meeting in Brooklyn a couple of months ago, I was telling one of the higher-ups about this exact situation, and she was absolutely shocked. She said to me, Joe, I didn't even know buyers could do that. They can, and they do. Okay? I continue to have a problem with bad addresses, and so do quite a few people in the Facebook groups. Now, there are two type bad addresses. One, you ship the item to the address that eBay gives you, and several weeks go by and the package arrives back unannounced. That happened to me this week. I received another one with a bad address. When that happens, I do nothing. It's like it's a non-event. If the person contacts me and says, hey, ship it to my new address, open an item not received case, Honey Bunch. That's how we do that, okay? You are required to have your current address on file with eBay at all times. I've been noticing anytime there's a problem like that with me, it's these people with these long dormant accounts. They may have joined eBay in 2015, but they haven't bought anything in 10 years, and they come out of the closet just to buy my item, and they've moved at least once and not changed their address. Now, a similar situation is happening to people. What would you do in this case? A person buys your item, all right, pays right away, and then contacts you and says, oh, no, I've moved. Change the address to, and they give you a new address. You used to be able to change it with no compunctions, no problems, but eBay has changed it so you can no longer change the zip code, which totally defeats the purpose. Why they did this, I don't know. But anytime that happens, I say to the person, absolutely not. eBay will not let me change the zip code. I will cancel the sale, give you a refund. If you want to repurchase it, that's your business. But use the right address this time. There are other people, other eBay sellers in the group. that are taking it upon themselves to either use pirate ship or ship on their own off eBay and changing the zip code and address on their own. And I'm telling these people, you really shouldn't do that because I think you're going to lose your seller protections. So have any of you guys come across this situation? If you have, how do you handle it? I myself, like I said, no way. Everything stays on eBay. Cancel the sale, repurchase if you want. So yeah. Now, I've said this in videos before. If a person writes you a nasty message before they buy your item, what do you think is going to happen once they actually buy the item? Let me tell you, nothing good. So it's them holding up a sign saying, look out, I'm going to be a prick if you accept my offer. I'm looking for a picture here, which I'm going to show you when I can find it. So a person sent me a best offer a couple of days ago on an item. They sent me an offer of $15 on an item I was asking, I think, $28 for. Bang, decline. They're not even close. Okay? Today I wake up, same person sends me an offer of $20 on the $28 item. Now, I will tell you I've had it for a while, and I was actually thinking about taking the $20. I swear it. I swear on my life. Until I saw this love note that I'm going to read and show you. Here's the love note they wrote. I really can't justify more than this. It's getting closer to the cost of half a full set after shipping, and this one has rash. Okay. What would you guys have done in that case? Is there anyone that would have accepted the $20 offer from this guy who's unhappy already? No way. Decline. It's really, really wild. I've been talking to a lot of eBay Motors sellers this week because we're in several groups together and we text each other and we exchange screenshots the way I show them to you guys, because misery loves company. I must say, I absolutely love the eBay Motors community of sellers because I love reading their stories. It makes me feel good, okay? It makes me feel I'm not the only person that's getting jerked around. So I'm very appreciative of them, and we share stories, we share screenshots, and we have a laugh. I have a couple more things I want to tell you. Funny story, it's kind of involving eBay. Remember over the last few months I've told you stories about look-alike items, specifically for a Mercury Grand Marquis, meaning there's one that's worth only $10, if that, and there's one that's worth $150. They look kind of similar to the untrained eye. I've had nothing but problems. I don't even list the $10 ones. Throw them right in the trash, because people that are uneducated or unrealistic think they're getting the $150 item for $10. Okay, that being said, I had a local customer today, and you're going to love this. You're absolutely going to love this. Lady calls me up and says, hi, I have a 2005 Mercury Grand Marquis, and I'm missing the center cap. Do you have it? I said, all right, stop right there. I said, before we go any further, that is a very, very expensive cap. I said, I'm assuming that you need the shiny chrome one that goes in the middle of the two-piece wheel cover. She said, that's exactly what I need. She said, I don't really live near you. I live an hour away. However, I would be willing to drive up to you. This way, you could fit it for me. Even if you charge a little bit more than what I saw on eBay, because I looked on eBay and they have one for $20. Really. Okay? So now I know the situation. I said, listen to me. I said, there's no way in hell you're getting this cap for $20. You may see one that looks similar for $20. I guarantee you it's not going to fit. And this woman didn't want to hear anything. $20, it's on eBay. I said, okay, I tell you what, I got some time to kill. I said, let's have a little fun here. I said, if you're in front of your computer, tell me the item number and the title. All right? So she tells me the item number. I look it up. And she reads the title and she says something like this: 2000 to 2008 Mercury Grand Marquis silver painted center cap. I said, Miss, what did you just say to me? Did you not just say silver painted? She said, yes. I said, didn't we establish that you need the shiny chrome one? Yes, but this looks just like it. I said, it isn't. Look again. It says silver painted, and the part number is nothing like what you need. I said, please, for Christ's sake, trust me on this, all right? I said, I know what you need, all right? I can give you somebody else on eBay that's got it if you want. Then she starts saying, oh, no, this is too complicated. I'm going to go to the dealership because I'm missing 3 of them. I'm going to go to the dealership, and this way I know I'm getting the right one. I said, you know something? You're doing the right thing. I said, take off your 4th one and go with it in your hand so the man behind the counter can see the part number, look it up, and give you the right ones. All right? I doubt she's going to pay the price, but at least she'll get information, and maybe they'll order them for her. I doubt they'll have them in stock for a car that year, a 20-year-old car. But people with that car, that Mercury Grand Marquis, will not give it up. I'll be the first to admit it was a well-made car. It was a durable car. It's the sister car to the Crown Vic. Very durable, good quality car, but just absolutely the absolute worst wheel design I have seen in my career. I'm not even going to sit here and try and explain about what I call the shell wheel, because most of you guys are not in the business, but trust me, worst wheel design ever. Okay? So yeah, I just thought you'd enjoy that. It does happen periodically where people will call me on the phone and they'll say, hey, I see something on eBay, but I want to know if you have it. Or sometimes they'll say, it's not common, but they'll say, I see you have something on eBay. If I drive over to Oradell, can I buy it without paying the shipping? Which, hey, sure, I have no problem with that. I'll be more than happy to do it. Save me on the eBay fees. But then again, by the same token, once in a while I get somebody on eBay that will say, Joe, if I buy this hubcap on eBay right now, can I come to your location and pick it up? And I say, no, absolutely not. If you're buying on eBay, I'm shipping on eBay. And that's the way it's going to be, because I got stung once. I got stung twice in 1 week years ago. It'll never happen again. No local pickups for anything sold on eBay. Now, one thing I've been forgetting to talk a little bit about, and it's coming up next week, is eBay Open 2025 out in Vegas. Is anybody out there, are any of you going out to Vegas to 2025 Open? If so, could you put it in the comment section? I'm just wondering if any of you guys are going. And if you are going to go, in next week's video, could you do a recap and tell me any positive takeaways or anything you experienced? I've gone to every one since 2012. I haven't missed a single one. All right? This is my first time not going. If anybody asked me, if they said, Joe, I've got the time, I've got the money, do you think I should go? Hell yeah. You will have a great time. You're going to meet some great eBay sellers like you and me. I have nothing bad to say about it, all right? as far as the event is concerned. The event is top notch, no complaints. The eBay employees are friendly, likable, approachable, no complaints with that. The plane ride is horrible. I wouldn't wish it on any of my enemies. That is one long plane ride from New York City out to Vegas. And that's if it's a straight run. If you encounter any weather problems, you will be so sorry. I encountered the plane ride from hell about 7 years ago. Never in my life have I encountered anything. It turned into a 12-hour fiasco, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to scare any of you, but I just wanted to, I don't know if I ever talked about this. The plane was supposed to leave Vegas at approximately, what time was it? Maybe, I don't know, 9 o'clock their time. I got to the airport, plenty of time, 2 hours early. Beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day. Nicest day in the world. Whose plane gets delayed 3 hours right from the get-go? Cute Joey, because here on the East Coast, we're having heavy rain and thunderstorms. All right. They delay the plane 3 hours. The plane finally takes off 3 hours later. We're humming along. We get as far as Cleveland, and they say, we can't get to New York. The weather is just absolutely too bad. It's unsafe. We're landing in Cleveland. Oh, no, no, no. Don't let this happen. And we sat on the tarmac in Cleveland. Then we finally got into the air again. Got to Newark. Circled around. Had to wait for whatever it is, a holding pattern or whatever. I didn't get home till like 3 in the morning. Remember, I left early in the morning Vegas time. It was horrible. It was just absolutely horrible. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But I really think eBay should schedule some of these events on the East Coast, to be fair. You know, it's just not fair. And I'm speaking up about it because it's too much on the East Coast people to fly out there all the time. All right? Give us a break once in a while. So yeah, guys, we're coming up on half an hour, and I don't want to keep you any longer than that. I know you guys like the videos half an hour or maybe a little less. And quite frankly, I don't blame you one bit. Not one bit. I don't like watching videos, eBay videos, over half an hour, and I won't watch them. Sometimes if the title is really enticing, it'll draw me in. For instance, I met the worst eBay scam buyer of my career. Now, if somebody has that kind of title, I got to click on it. All right? I've got to, because it's drawing me in. I want to see what happened. I want to see the outcome. I want to see the resolution. All right? I'm interested in that kind of stuff. All right? Conversely, if someone says something like, sell this item on eBay, and I guarantee you, you'll make $200 extra per week, I will skip right by that, no matter how long it is, because it's not true. If there was a certain item that somebody found that's bringing that kind of money, they would sell it themselves. They wouldn't tell you. I certainly wouldn't tell you. If I found a certain item that was gold, all right, I certainly wouldn't say, hey guys, let's sell this and you can be my competition. Think about it. I'll just never understand the logic behind that. But nonetheless, guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. I thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it informative, helpful, and enjoyable. Please feel free to comment on any of the eBay topics I've discussed or any eBay topics you want to discuss. You'll notice Molly is in the background there, sound asleep. She sleeps through all my videos like that. So yeah, guys, I hope you make a ton of money on eBay this week. Rock on and peace. And one more thing before I let you go. Sales-wise was horrible. Horrible week. Usually I have 1 or 2 good days. I had no good days. I had one day that was almost passable. The rest of the days were slow. I sure hope you guys did better. Better days coming. See you guys next week.